Hi, I'm Kristen, and today I'll be talking about picking up negative spiritual energy or residue and what you can do about it. So, with everything that's been going on in the news lately, as you can imagine, with the Epstein files and what's going on between Israel, the US, and Iran, and all the bombings that are happening, there is like a lot of negative energy that is out in the world right now. And that's on top of all the other types of kind of horrific things that are always going on in the world. And it just seems like there's a lot of this negative energy that is kind of latching onto people as we consume more of this media. More of it is kind of getting into the psyche. More of it is kind of attracting in just negative spiritual experiences. So I thought that I would come on here and I would kind of talk about some of the negative things that I've experienced in my own life since this has kind of been happening, what I've seen other people kind of dealing with and kind of like how to deal with it. There's been a lot of people that are online lately, all over social media, just even overhearing private conversations that whenever they are talking to other people, they're saying, like, I've been having like a lot of nightmares. I've been noticing that everything is going wrong in my life and things always come in threes. And so I've already had two bad things happening to me, and I know that a third one is going to be coming. Again, I was just in the grocery store the other day, and I overheard somebody speaking to um, one of the customer support um, employees, and she was kind of saying like everything just keeps going wrong. Like I don't know what's happening. Everything's been going wrong for me. And all over the internet, people are talking about just how it seems like everything is getting worse and nothing is getting better, and just all of this kind of mentality, it is dragging in more negativity. Like attracts like, and so the more that this is discussed, the more it is going to be attracted into your reality. And I am not immune to this, so I am just as outraged and disgusted and horrified by everything that's going on in the world right now. I wish that things were different, but obviously they aren't. And just because I have been following along with what's been going on and trying to minimize the amount that I'm seeing, but I'm still trying to keep abreast of what's actually happening in the world. I have been having a lot of nightmares. So a little while ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was having a dream about being in a hotel, and I typically go to like this kind of hotel world or this constant space that is a hotel rather than mall world, like a lot of other experiencers experience. And so in this hotel, I was seeing this little girl crying, and she was alone. And I didn't know where her parents were. It seemed like she didn't even have parents based on like what I was trying to ask her in the dream. And I was just kind of trying to usher her into a room. Um, and then a bit after that, I had like just like kind of like one of those crazy, like outlandish types of nightmares where I was being like chased by this like robot outside of my hotel that I typically go to in my dreams. And it kind of chased me inside and behind the sofa, and it was like a bunch of craziness. And then more recently, over the past week, my father is deceased, and so I've been having dreams about my father specifically killing me. I guess is the best way to describe it. So even in the dream that I had last night, I was dreaming that I was in a car with somebody. I can't remember who it was, but then all of a sudden the driver became my father. And because it's winter right now, we were driving down like a snowy highway, and we were or snowy road, and we were parallel with a highway. And as my father was driving to kind of get onto the main road, he started driving into like a snowbank, and it turned into like this big crazy dream where we were driving through the snow, and then like the car lost complete control. We were up over the guardrail, and at that point, like I realized that because of this accident, like I had died, and I woke up like right as my alarm was like about to go off, like in about like 90 seconds. Um, and so there was another dream that I had earlier in the week that was similar to that, also related to my father making some kind of mistake or just going full speed ahead into some kind of like crazy situation that he shouldn't have gone into that ended up really being really bad. And so all of that to say, it's as much as you kind of monitor your thoughts during your everyday life, a lot of just like this negativity can seep right into your subconscious. Even if you don't want to be thinking about this, even if you don't want to focus on these things, it's getting in just by virtue of what you're exposed to throughout the day. And so I've been thinking a lot about how to kind of get rid of this. I do not want my dreams, which is kind of like my place of reprieve, to be like another spot where I'm just seeing like a lot of negative, awful things. And Again, I know that spirits, non-human intelligence, they can contact you through your dreams, like when you're kind of more open and receptive. And if you're having a lot of negative thoughts, they're going to bring in kind of negative visions, negative imagery. And so the advice that I would give to anybody else that is kind of going through this right now is, again, to minimize how much that you're actually seeing of the news and what you're watching, what you're taking in. We all know that these horrible things are happening, but if it's out of our hands and we can't do anything about it, it's worth kind of just reading the headlines and not the details, and not focusing too heavily on just how bad things are and how bad they could get. Because unless it affects your personal life, it's kind of only making your life worse and not helping anyone else in order to, like by focusing on all of these details. um, I'd also recommend meditating and kind of trying to clear your energy, explicitly trying to envision yourself like only surrounded by golden light, only having any kind of contact with benevolent, positive types of beings like angels, or um, positive spirit guides, or positive past relatives that might be coming to you, that want the best for you, that when they do communicate, they're not going to bring in like these types of negative scenarios, negative messages, any of that. And I would also recommend that if you are being kind of plagued by nightmares right now, as many of us are, that you would pray or surround yourself in like an energetic, positive bubble before you go to sleep, explicitly to keep all of this negative energy at bay. Um, Again, what we think becomes reality, and all of these negative thoughts and just awful negative energy is bouncing around off of everywhere. Anywhere you're going in public right now, it's like there's just so much sadness and so much anger and so much upset that you're going to start sucking that in from other people's energy. You're going to have all of that type of energy being produced within yourself just by being on social media, watching regular mainstream media, and taking all this in. So if you can deliberately block that out and deliberately try to clear your energy, that would be helpful. Also, grounding, going outside. It's winter right now, so I know a lot of people can't go out in the cold and go out in the snow and do this, but just being able to spend any time outside, getting some fresh air, like looking up at the stars at night and being grateful for whatever goodness that you do have in your life, and being grateful that, like, if your life is stable, that it is stable, and that you haven't personally been affected by so much of what's going on recently. Um, and also putting out like positive energy into the world. So if you're praying, or if you're just speaking to the universe, speaking to source, and you're being grateful for what you have, also kind of be grateful for like the little things, that the people that are going through all this horrible stuff right now, the little things that they do have that are good in their lives, like if they do still have their family members with them. If praying for these other people that are going through these awful things, that they may find healing and may have like blessings come into their lives, like that will also bring not only good energy to them, but um, good energy back to you, because you're just in this kind of mindset and space mentally where you're attracting kind of higher energy, more positive energy into your life. And so yeah, I'd recommend doing like pretty much everything you can in in your power at this time to focus on the things that bring you small pleasures, small joys, just anything that you know can kind of take you out of a depressive kind of negative energy. Um, yeah, so I hope that everything gets a lot better, of course, like in the near future. Um, but if things end up remaining a struggle, then they might. This could be really good positive daily practices to kind of focus on in order to kind of step aside from all of this energy that is hitting all of us right now. Um, yeah, so if I can think of any other types of things that we could do in the future in order to kind of slough off all of this kind of negativity, I'll come back and I'll kind of share that on here. But yeah, I hope that you are doing well, and you're able to kind of get through everything that is happening right now. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.